Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Matías Rebolledo y seguimos aquí en el set IFEX de Kinótico en este cursal en San Sebastián que está siendo, pues eso, lo de siempre, ¿no? La industria es como, está lleno de gente paseándose por aquí, intentando cerrar negocios y recordemos que este espacio es posible gracias al apoyo de IFEX España, exportación e inversiones y financiado por la Unión Europea Next Generation, Plan de Recuperación, Gobierno de España. También en este set estamos entrevistando a talento nacional e internacional de la mano de nuestra colaboración con Fred Film Radio. Hablando de esa colaboración, de esos talentos que se van a pasar por aquí, we have today here in the Kinótico set here in San Sebastián, Carmen Chaplin. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Carmen presenta Chaplin, Espíritu Gitano, que es un documental que participa en Cinemira y ella, como nieta del mito, pues nos va a intentar responder un poquito de esto. First things first, I wanted to ask you the origins of the project. This is something that you've been working for how long now?
Actually, it came about, it's something that kind of matured over time because the idea has been there for a long time. But when my father discovered this letter that this Romani gypsy sent to Charlie, he said this guy sent it to him after Charlie published his autobiography. And it's a letter that was telling Charlie that he wasn't born in London, that he was born on this gypsy camp called Black Patch near Birmingham. And it's a letter that he kept in his bedside table. And it was the only letter that he had locked up. And years after he died, it was opened and we found it. And my father, who's always been really like fascinated and in love with gypsy music and the culture, for him it was something that really sparked his imagination. And then actually my sister, who's one of the producers, Dolores, she had the idea to do this film. And it took a while, and after a while, I really wanted to go on the adventure with my father, and so it's been a family project that's matured over time.
One of the main points of interest in the film is to see things that we've never seen before. So I wanted to ask you about that. Was that at any time, I don't know if afraid is the word, but conscious about the sharing of that material, the intimacy that reveals. There was at any time like something in your mind like we should keep it to ourselves.
I suppose when you do something with your family, with your father, and about your grandfather, you're always conscious of wanting to be truthful, but also wanting to be loving. And my idea was never to do something that was, how do you say, scandalous or
overexposure of that, yeah.
Yeah, or to be clickbait in any way. It was very much. And I asked Charlie before I made the film. I said, "Are you okay with this? Is your spirit okay?" And I felt it was good. And I think it's. Everybody is human and has shadows and light. And if you want to make something that's of interest, you have to show both sides. So as long as you do it with love, I think the truth is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you from a director point of view. This is your very first movie as a director. It's in San Sebastián, in Cinemira, which is a very well-respected section of the festival. So I wanted to ask you about that. Did you at any time expect to be like in this this showcase, this very big showcase for the documentary?
When you put so much time and energy, and movies cost money, you always envision this film is going to be at a festival and it's going to happen. But afterwards, it's a question of luck and being the right time, and I'm really, really excited for it to be here. But in your dreams, you always have to dream big.
You mentioned the importance of the Romani aspect of Chaplin, but in the history books, it's been hidden. It's been hidden. Sorry, it's been like foreshadowed by so many things. I think in an intentional way, in a bad way sometimes. I wanted to ask you about that. Do you feel that this documentary will finally help to, I don't know, recuperate that very legacy of Chaplin as a part of the Romani community?
I really hope so. For me, it was like an homage to that community and a claiming of that gypsy part to our family. But I think it's something that was overshadowed because, at the time when Charlie made The Great Dictator, it was all about Hitler and the Jews. And then so he was very much associated with being Jewish, which he wasn't. But in a way, he wasn't big into denying it. He thought, well, whatever helps. People being accepted, and he did say several times in public or in the press that he was part gypsy, but I think at the time it's just something that never stuck. It was like it went in one ear and through the other. So this was a way of making it concrete.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the gypsy people nowadays is aware of the existence of Chaplin as a reference for the community, or they do not even know? They can be proud of him because they don't know he was gypsy.
Well, everybody that we interviewed, whether it was Damien Labasse in England or Farukito or the Taraf de Caillou, they all said that their parents and their grandparents had told them that Charlie was a gypsy. So in their community, I guess it's a fact or it's a legend. But it wasn't outside of the community, something that was known.
I wanted to ask you about editing because if I'm not wrong, Julia Juanif, sorry, is helping you with the montage. And I wanted to ask you about that very special aspect because I can only begin to understand how difficult it was to make it work between all the pieces. How was that? What was the montage process?
Well, it was. I'm really, really lucky to have worked with her because she was amazing, and it's a process that if I had known what it took before, I think it was better not to know because it's just we spent every day together for 3 months. I think just going through the home movies, Charlie's movies, all the footage that we had shot, and a documentary is not like a feature. Your script is there, but it really gets shaped in the editing room. So, and then on the weekend, rewatching the film, it becomes like an obsession. You're making a statue out of a block of clay.
Okay.
So it's a very intricate process, and you have to get along well with your editor, I think, because you're together all the time.
I wanted to circle back to that personal aspect and the Chaplin surname for you, for example. What is the meaning for you as to carry the surname besides the pride aspect, because it's part of everything almost. It's part of Jewish culture, Gypsy culture, the history of cinema, the history of even the portrayal of things, how political aspects of Europe change in a way. On a production level, the United Artists thing was maybe the most important thing to happen in that century in cinema. But I wanted to ask you on a personal aspect. How did you carry that surname through your, how are you carrying it through your life?
I think when somebody has so much light, because they're very famous and very magnetic, it kind of puts you in the shadow in a way. But there's several aspects. There's an aspect where you feel like, oh, I need to make my own name. And in another way, I thought, God, I could never say I want to direct because he's such a big figure. But as you get older, I think you realize that you can go in that person's footsteps and that it's okay, and that you can do your own thing, and there's no competition. So you kind of, I feel freed by it. I really love my grandfather's films, and there's the shadow and there's the light, but I choose to go more towards the light.
Do you think that we will ever get a full picture of Charlie Chaplin? Because it never ends. There's something new with every documentary, with every book. There's like, it's a bigger than life character, but it's even bigger than that. So I wanted to ask you about, will we ever have like the full picture of who he was?
No, I don't think so. And there's one aspect that just make me think about it. They wrote a lot of love letters to each other, Charlie and my grandmother Una. And when she died, she asked for them all to be burnt. And I think, that's one part that we'll never know. People have so many different facets. And and also when you look at them from your perspective. So everybody has a different perspective, and people are very complex. And when you're an artist like that, you're definitely, with such a tragic childhood and such a big life, obviously there's many aspects of that person.
Well, final question. I will let you to enjoy the festival. As a part of a collaboration with IFEX, we're asking talent, what ignites your creativity? It can be a name, it can be an activity.
I think having a space with nothing, no screens, no books, nothing, and just having like a bath and no distraction. It allows for your imagination to really come through. So in this world where we're always stimulated, I think creativity comes like when you're a kid and you're bored, that from that boredom, that allows creativity to come. And I think that's quite magical.
Well, Carmen, thank you so much. Let's hope the best for the film. Y a los espectadores de Kinótico, simplemente decirles que seguimos en Kinótico, la primera con K, la segunda con C.